Hello and welcome back to An English Undertaking. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the Victorians' fascination with post-mortem and funeral photography. Victorian funeral photography, also known as post-mortem photography or memento mori photography, was a common practice in the UK and other parts of the world during the 19th century. It involves taking photographs of deceased individuals, often with family members, as a way to memorialise them. The rise of photography in the Victorian era allowed more families to capture images of loved ones. High infant and child mortality rates made post-mortem photography particularly common for children. Photographs served as a way to keep the memory of the deceased alive and provide a tangible reminder of their life. Early post-mortem photographs often depicted the deceased as if asleep with close-up headshots. Later, more naturalistic poses were adapted, with subject posed as if living. In some cases, photographers or family members would add artistic touches like painting eyes onto the photograph to make the deceased appear more lifelike. As the Victorian era progressed, attitudes towards death and mourning began to change. The emphasis shifted towards a good death, which involved less suffering, or a death that was unexpected. The experience of World War I also played a role in changing attitudes towards death, as it brought about widespread and often violent deaths far from home, making the idea of photographing the deceased less desirable. While post-mortem photography is no longer a widespread practice, it has evolved into modern forms like forensic and pathology photography. Victorian funeral photography was a significant cultural practice that provided a way for families to cope with loss and preserve the memory of their loved ones. If you've enjoyed this segment of An English Undertaking and you'd like to know more about Victorian photography or Victorian funeral practices and customs, then don't forget to give me a like, a share and a follow, and I will see you on the very next video. And don't forget, you can also drop me a direct message on either TikTok, Instagram or Facebook. Thank you.